Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto, and we're looking at a 2003 Toyota Alphard four-wheel drive hybrid. That's E four-wheel drive because it uses an electric motor for two of the wheels. Comes with a 2.4 liter hybrid synergy drive. THSC Toyota Hybrid System CVT. And what a cool idea to have a hybrid van. In 2003, I believe this and the Estima were the only two hybrid vans. And I always thought, why doesn't Toyota make a hybrid van for North America? They didn't for a good long time. I'm going to switch the engine off here. We'll take a look at the condition of the vehicle. We'll compare it to the auction inspection sheet. This one's going over to Canada, where I come from actually. There's the gauge set you can see. Pretty simple actually. It shows you your miles per gallon there, or your kilometers per liter actually. Fuel, and then a snazzy little Space Mountain looking display. Okay, 52,446 kilometers at the time of shooting this. Switch this off for now. And I would consider this vehicle to be a 9.9 out of 10. It is very close to being a perfect vehicle. Okay, so coolant and oil both look okay. Probably a good idea to change them anyway, but they are good. They look fine. I'm going to close the hood here. I will say that the coolant runs both systems. So you have coolant for the engine, which overflows into this tank, which also goes into the hybrid drives coolant section. Okay, quick look at the vehicle. This is the big vans in Japan. These are the big comfortable vans. There's also the Hi-Ace, which I guess is a little bit narrower than this. Roughly the same size, otherwise a little bit more interior room, but this one's made for comfort and passengers, whereas the Hi-Ace is really a repurposed industrial van. Okay, 52,367, and if you're wondering the fuel economy on this, I looked it up. It's 17.8 kilometers per liter, which I know a lot of people know miles per gallon or liters per 100 kilometers. Just to give you a comparison, mine apparently, I have a minivan that competes with Toyota, the Honda Elysian, and mine is supposed to get 10 kilometers per liter. So this is 78% better fuel economy, or a 78% increase. Probably similar in terms of power. And then mine actually gets about 6. And then the benefit of a hybrid is that when you're starting off from the light, you get the electric motors, and then when you're cruising, you get the gas motors, and it kind of uses the two in combination. So a lot of where you lose miles per gallon coming up off of a light, getting up to speed, is handled by the electric motors, and so it actually kind of city driving gets you better fuel economy than highway for a hybrid. Okay, so let's just go over the auction inspection sheet here, and you'll see, take a look at the body. Pretty close to perfect, no marks on it. Okay, 2003 Alphard. What does it say? Alphard Hybrid G Edition. And you can always tell which one's the hybrid because they have different headlights that kind of look like, 3 separate headlights with its own thing on the side. Very different from the typical Alphard headlight. Okay, auction rate 4, interior B, sunroof. It's a dual sunroof here, power steering, power windows, navi, and airbag. Original pearl paint, 52,367 kilometers. Sales points here are purchased from user, both side power sliding door, cruise control, twin moonroof, power seats for the driver, and a reverse camera. Has AC 100 volt hookups, so you can just plug in your standard 110 volt. It's kind of weird. Japan is 100 volt, North America is 110 volt, but they are interchangeable as much as I've ever seen. I've had Japanese things in Canada and Canadian things in Japan, and it all plugs in fine. This is 15 plus years of experience. Tool collection box here. Oh, and there's 2 of them, one in the dashboard and then one in the second row. So you can just plug in whatever you want, which is cool because I just got to show you this because it's on my mind. Open the power door. You have this, and you have this. So you can plug in a Nintendo Wii, or Super Nintendo, or GameCube, and you can play it on your TV up there. What a cool thing to do with your new minivan. You even have headphone jacks here with their own volume controls for left and right. So, love it. I wish I had that for my minivan. I'd be rocking GameCube. Super Nintendo is more my jam. I'm 40 years old now, but regular Nintendo is actually. But actually the Japanese, this is not a video game channel, but the Japanese Famicom didn't have component inputs. it only had coax. The North American one had both. So the North American one could potentially work, whereas the Japanese one actually couldn't in this car. Anyway, toll collection box for Japanese highways, aftermarket wheels, electric curtains. I'm going to show you that because it's really cool. Original Navi, small scratches, small dents, underside has slight surface rust, interior slightly dirty, and wheels scratched. Now I got a ton of pictures of the underside. It looks close to perfect. The interior is barely dirty at all, and the body is basically perfect. And so on a car that's this condition, you typically get a shorter video than standard because there's really nothing to point out. I'll go around the car and you'll see nothing wrong with it, unless you consider these aftermarket wheels to be something wrong. I don't really care for them. They are kind of a sporty wheel, which I think can look good on a minivan. My minivan has Civic Type R wheels on it, and a Civic Type R badge on the back. Well, a Type R badge, which is kind of nerdy, but I realize that I'm the weird one there, not what normally people would want on their minivans. But minivans like this, here in Japan, this is the way that you ride. SUVs are popular, but not as popular as minivans are here. There's tons and tons of space. A lot of people put lowered suspension on them, big wheels, like 20-inch wheels, Brembo brake kits, aero kits, and stuff like that is still very popular here in Japan. And if that's what you want, you can find a lot of cars like that at auction, especially Honda Odysseys, like the first 2 generations, step wagons. The 3rd generation of the Odyssey is popular for that. Toyota Noah, which is kind of a smaller minivan than this. There's a lot of great minivans if you're into that style. Okay, now looking at details here, this front grille might be aftermarket. And then it has a camera here. And this one doesn't have the auxiliary camera. Okay, so it has front and rear cameras. Here it doesn't have the side cameras. Okay, the front end has bug splats on it, but I couldn't find any damage to the front bumper. All of these are little bug splats. You can take them off with your finger, and that's gross now. Okay, this is a parking pole. What this is it lights up on the top, and then it's visible for you from the driver's side over there. And especially in Canada, where parking this might be, a little bit more difficult because it is right-hand drive, it'll give you a visual reference of where your corner is. So this makes parking a lot easier to not knock the front bumper. Okay, going down the sides, there is nothing wrong with it. There's a hybrid mark here, so people know that you're running a hybrid minivan. And who's better at hybrids than Toyota? The answer is nobody. 4-wheel drive, which is great for Canadian winters, at least for going. For stopping, you need good tires for that. Snazzier looking taillights for the hybrid version. Big letters that says Alphard Hybrid. A lot of people will see the Toyota badge on there, and people love the looks of these. They look great in Canada because you never see them. In many countries around the world, you see these everywhere and they're just another minivan, but this is something special in Canada because not very many people have them. Okay, I'll just open the trunk here because I'm back here. It is a 3-row. Okay, and all 3 rows can slide seats, so you can configure them in the way that you want. These 2 seats can be folded up toward the side, so this back piece goes down and the whole piece goes to the side and clips on to the assist grip up there. Now you can make this into a sleepable platform if you want. It is fairly cushy compared to other minivans and more comfortable, I would say. You can also turn this into a table by folding it flat, and you have little table stands for the back there too if you want. Now oddly, you don't have those for the drivers, behind the driver's seat and the passenger seat. You have to be in the full back position to see those. To use those. Let me just check in the back here. We're kind of doing this a bit out of order, but I wanted to see, these are non-rotational seats. Some minivans have rotational front seats or rotational center seats, and it looks like these center seats rotate. So you can point these backwards if you want. Then you can use this as your lap belt when it's pointed backwards, because you wouldn't be able to use the otherwise three-point seat belt here. We'll come back to the interior in a sec. In the back here, let's see, we've got a light. That's it. You have a light in the back. Okay. Here it says slide bar. I'm not sure what it means by... Oh, slide lever. Okay, it's up there. So you can move the seat forward and back from the back here, which is nice if you bought more groceries than you thought, or you didn't have the seats in this position that you wanted them. Oh, you'll hear an exhaust. That's not from this car. It's from one of the cars in the lot that I just want to charge the battery. Okay, these curtains open and close, and they do quickly. I'm going to show you that once I get around. Has a Alphard hybrid logo here on the scuff plate that is in excellent condition. Corner sensors, sonar that beeps at you if you're going to get close to hitting something. And side panel for days that's in good condition. That's great. Now let's pop the key in so you can see those curtains, because usually I don't mess with curtains because they're usually on older vehicles and there gets gunk in the curtain rails, but I decided to give this one a try. And I was surprised at how fast that they were. Have a look. Amazing. They got the same thing on the sides, and those two will close at the same time, but because they're tied up like that, I can't actually show you. Okay, while I'm here, let's have a look at things. We got interior lights, and look at that. It's like a fancy hotel. Cool, right? Now the next generation has those too, but it's in a strip that goes all the way down. That's very cool looking. This has a lot of speakers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 speakers in total. Okay, seat, power seat for the driver. It functions properly. It's clean, smooth to the touch. No bad smells inside the van. Excellent. Steering wheel is kind of a pretend wooden steering wheel. It has this on it. It does the job. I think it's probably better than real wood because real wood will tend to crack over time. This one, I've never seen one cracked. I haven't seen a dashboard of these cracked. I don't know if it's a common thing, but I know lots of Toyotas of this generation, especially the Crown, tend to crack a lot. This center looks fairly modern even by today's standards. There is a little bit of wear. This is where the 0.1, where it's not a 10 out of 10, there's wear on the buttons there. And I don't think there's much you can do to get rid of that wear. Okay, hasn't been smoked in. You get 2 cup holders here. And then if you want a big gulp, you can probably put it into the giant size door pocket cards there. That's pretty simple there. I already showed you that. This one here is just a spot to put things. And the seats, yeah, cushy and nice, but a little firm. I really like that kind of seat. A lot of times you'll see seats in vans that are too soft. It makes you have butt strain. A firmer seat can help with that. Okay, here you can see sunroof plus sunroof. And let's get rid of that room light. Both of these sliding doors have been tested and they both work. That's for your toll collection box. You slide your card in there. Power folding mirrors are on every car in Japan, so really nothing that special. Going into the back here. And take a look at this. So they cut their own carpet and installed it into there. That's someone who has children. Children can be very messy in a car. And protecting the carpet like that is a wonderful idea. It takes some time and effort, but good to see that that was done. Now I've already showed you this stuff here. Oh, there's cup holders. That's fun. Okay, a little bit on the flimsy side, but they work. Okay, you have also cup holders in your center head, or the center pillow, if you want to call it that. These seats slide. They are 1 click away from the furthest back position, giving you lots of room. There are versions that have integrated footrests in here. Front seat has one that pops out like this, and then the back seats have ones that flip down. Not super necessary in my opinion, but it is cool. Let's flip this down. And then you can see you can use it as a table if you need to. It has a flat surface for that. And then these flip out, but they don't really go level unless this seat is in the full upright position. It doesn't have an adjuster. Some of the old Hi-Ace ones had a little spin adjuster so that you can set this at the perfect level based on how leaned back the seat in front of it was. And this needs, most of the time needs two hands to do it. Okay, getting into the back. Pull the lever and we slide forward. Do keep in mind that if you have car seats in the car, they'll get squished if you need more than one. and there is no easy pass through. If you want to get into the back without moving the seats, you have to jump right over the seats. Back seats for a third row are some of the most spacious and cushy third row. So if you need to commonly use the third row all the time, these might be the best ones I've ever sat in. Most of the time, especially the things like Land Cruisers or any SUV, you get mincy little seats in the back, and they are terrible. This one has nice cup holders, curtain controls, speakers back here. You can slide forward and back. You can tilt this back, and the seat is a good amount off the ground, meaning you're not knees way, way, way up like you are in many of these third rows. Okay, same thing with the carpet down here. Lots of visibility all the way around, a nice spacious feeling. And yeah, just a great minivan in great condition. So the person who bought this is going to adore this vehicle. Okay, so that's basically all for this one. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop us a line and we'd be happy to help you. If you want to say thanks to us, say thanks. That'd be nice. And that's going to be the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.